Hello everybody! Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to one of the most requested videos on my channel. Since I started my YouTube channel, several subscribers have been repeatedly asking me to make a video about how I achieved band score 9 twice in my listening exam. Stay with me till the end of the video, because in this video I'm gonna give away my 5 top tips of achieving band score 9 twice in my Ielts listening exam. But before we dive into the main part of the video, let me quickly introduce myself because there might be some new subscribers and new viewers to my channel. I am Gulora Muzaffarova, an English teacher and an Ielts instructor, and during this video I'm gonna talk about my own Ielts taking experience and I'm gonna show you my last 2 certificates. Let me start off by sharing with you my success story, because everyone has their own story behind their success. And I've taken Ielts exam 3 times in my life. The first time was in 2014 when I was a last year university student, and at that time I achieved an overall score of 7.5, and from the listening section I got 8.5. Unfortunately, I didn't keep a copy of this document because it already expired. And the next time I took the Ielts exam in 2016, and at that time I achieved an overall score of 8 and my listening score was 9. My last attempt was 2 years ago in 2018, and I was able to achieve an overall score of 8.5 and my listening score was again 9. Now on the screen you can see my last 2 certificates because I want to show them as a proof of my words. So what is the key factor? What is the deciding factor for this impressive achievement in listening? In my opinion, the main reason for my achievements in listening exam was watching videos with subtitles. Because when I was a university student, I used to take a lot of online courses called MOOCs, free online courses. And in these online courses, we were given weekly materials. We were given 6 to 8 videos to watch, 3 or 4 articles to read, and 1 or 2 writing assignments. What I did during the week was to download all the videos with subtitles onto my computer and to watch them over and over again in order to better understand the content of the lectures and to be better prepared for the writing assignments. I did this practice watching videos with subtitles for about a year or so, and it really helped me to take my listening skills to the next level. Not only did it hone my listening skills, but also it helped me to improve my academic vocabulary in English, because all the courses which I took were university courses such as academic writing, methodology, teaching, critical thinking, and others. So because I watched the videos with subtitles, I learned a lot of useful vocabulary, a lot of academic words from the subtitles. Whenever I came across a new word, I used to pause the video to write down this word and to look up its meaning in a dictionary and try to memorize this word. So now I recommend to my all students and to everyone who comes to me for advice always to watch videos with subtitles, because it really worked for me. From my own experience, I learned that this is a really useful practice for a language learner. But you don't have to take an online course to do this. You don't have to spend your time and energy, your money to improve your Ielts listening. You can find any video on the topics in which you're interested in the English language on the YouTube platform. YouTube is such a huge platform which allows you to find any video. I think there are at least hundreds of videos on different topics in the English language. So what you have to do is to register on this platform and find the videos on the topics in which you're interested and to watch them again and again until you fully understand them. And also don't forget to turn on the subtitles, because in the subtitles you will learn lots of new words. So smoothly, let me move on to my next point, because my next point is related to learning new words. So my second tip is improving vocabulary. I know that this sounds very mundane, this sounds so straightforward, but In a sense, basically IELTS is a language test. It often checks your vocabulary level, and how many words you know often determines your overall English language level. That's why as a language learner, you constantly have to learn new words to improve your overall language level. Even though I've achieved a pretty high level in the English language, I still come across new words when I watch videos. I still come across new words when I, for example, read books written by native speakers, and I try to memorize them to learn new words as much as possible. And that's why my suggestion, watch videos with subtitles, read more in the English language, and whenever you come across new words, try to learn this word, look up its meaning in the dictionary. But don't make an obvious mistake of learning words with its direct translations into your language, because it's highly ineffective. Instead, you have to learn words with English definitions, because whenever you learn a word with its definition in the English language, it allows you to learn paraphrases of a word, to recognize the paraphrase of a word. And we know that in the IELTS listening test and in the reading test also, you're always given paraphrase of the question. You're never given the same word, the same phrase or the expression as in the question booklet, and sentences in the questions will often be paraphrased for you in the audio. So it's essential for you to be able to recognize paraphrases of words and sentences in the audio. My third tip is concentration. No matter how strong command of the language you have, no matter how many words and phrases and how many synonyms you know in the English language, if you have concentration problems, this will badly affect your listening score. It happens very often whenever you're listening to an audio, you suddenly remember about something unnecessary. Maybe you had a problem in your personal life, maybe you had an argument with your best friend, and it crosses your mind, and that's it. You're not able to focus your attention on the audio, and you start panicking and you start missing the next answers also in the audio. Or you might be feeling hungry and you suddenly start thinking about food, and that's it. You miss it, the necessary part of the listening. That's why concentration really matters in the listening test. I've got a lot of brilliant students who have admirable level of English, but because they have concentration problems, they often end up getting a lower score than they expected, getting a lower score than they deserve it actually. That's why it's important to learn to meditate, to learn to focus all your attention on the listening test whenever you're taking the test. My next tip, my fourth tip is prediction. Prediction is one of the old skills taught by many IELTS instructors on the internet, but still it hasn't lost its value. Prediction plays an essential role in the IELTS listening and reading tests as well. Because whenever you read the questions before you start listening to the audio, you analyze the patterns given and you predict what kind of words and phrases might come as an answer in the audio. It really helps your brain to be better prepared to filter between necessary and unnecessary information in the audio, and your brain will be deliberately listening out for words and phrases which are necessary to answer the questions. That's why it's essential to read the questions in advance and to analyze all the patterns, to analyze its grammar and to predict what kind of answers might be considered as correct. For example, if it's a gap-filling question in listening, try to find out what kind of word you need, what part of speech do you need. Do you need a noun? Do you need a verb? Maybe you need an adjective or maybe a number. If it's a noun, what kind of noun do you need? Do you need the name of a place, a name of an object, or name of an animal? So ask yourself such questions to be better prepared to listen to the audio more effectively. My last tip, my fifth point, is about common mistakes made by students. From my years of teaching experience, I learned that students often make very common, very obvious mistakes which cost them a lot. For example, in gap-filling questions, students usually don't read the questions carefully, they ignore the necessary pieces of information which are given for them, and they end up rewriting words and phrases which have already been written for them. For example, in section 1 there is a question, method of payment, which asks them to find in which way to pay for something, and credit card has already been written in the answer, and students, they don't pay attention to this information because it's usually written in small letters, and they again write credit card in the answers. Of course this is wrong, because you are repeating the piece of information which has already been written for you. Instead of writing credit card, students ought to write type of credit card in the answers. Or another question in section 4, I will simplify the question to make it more straightforward. They couldn't a gap and store water. So students don't read the question carefully. They don't pay attention to the part store water, and after listening to the audio, they write keep and store water. Of course, keep is a wrong answer because keep is a synonym of store. It means that you are repeating the part of the answer which has already been written for you in the questions. That's why it's really important to be attentive and to read all the questions and to analyze them very carefully before listening to the audio. Another common mistake made by students is spelling mistakes. It happens very often that students listen to the audio, they understand the correct answer, but they often don't know how to spell it correctly. For example, they heard the answer fountain, they know that this is a correct answer, but they don't know how to write it. As a result, although you have found the correct answer from the audio, because you weren't able to spell it correctly, you will not gain any points for this answer. And there are many more instances of common mistakes made by students, and I usually teach them during my online classes. Obviously, I'm not able to fit all of them in a 10-minute YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching the video. This was the end of my top 5 tips for listening in the Ielts exam. I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned a lot of new things for yourselves. And if you liked the video, please support me by subscribing to my channel and hit the like button and the notification bell. Also, share the video with people who are studying for the Ielts exam because this might come in handy in their Ielts preparation. Once again, thank you very much and see you in my next videos.